It is so easy to go live now. Kind of difficult, if anything, to... Not difficult. Too easy. That's the word I was actually thinking of. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. I guess when I got back and was like, ooh, I've got those pictures with which I've got all the tape measures drawings of in my phone. When did I last clear the memory out on my phone onto my computer? Because I might have a while to dig back through. So, the pictures I was looking for were from more than a year ago. So I just uploaded 18 months of pictures from my phone and it took nearly 2 hours. I take a lot of pictures, work and hobbies and all that fun stuff. Either way, I went, you know what? I'm now kind of bored of not doing anything, so I'm just going to go and play the game instead. So, I believe it is Percy has a mission. What? Who? Named express coaches. You know what? I want to see what these named express coaches are. As per the usual, if anyone in my Discord wants to catch my attention somehow and make me drag them into the VC, I can. But I am not sitting in a particularly open channel at the moment just because... what? So, I've got a notification. I'm just looking at my phone going, ah, right, okay, sorry. It's not somebody already going, oi, let me in. Let me in. Oh. That's a neat place for Percy to be parked up, I guess. Got the signal? Yep. So, I don't suppose any of the fun, exciting people out there know where I could get a soundboard that would work presumably on a smartphone. I went too fast there. Cool. Mainly for stuff like that. If there's an app or something I could get that's got a few diesel tones, a few whistle tones, that kind of thing. Because when I'm operating the layout at the club, it would be kind of nice to have a little soundboard where I can just, you know, do a sort of diesel starting, steam engine, you know, all the sort of shunting related whistles and noises and such. That was a 50-mile-an-hour point? Really? I suppose it wiggles a lot. Oh, stop that. Ooh, I keep missing these instructions. Oh, wow, okay. Well, this, it doesn't, yeah. I didn't exactly fail it, I just went further than I should have done. Because it's like, oh yeah, you can do 50, and then I don't see that it's a stop, because I'm not paying enough attention, because I'm talking to the chat, who aren't here yet. Hello, if you are here. You know, I've just uploaded a video that I filmed earlier of my Edward on test. Significantly better than the last time. I think spending about 10-15 minutes cleaning his wheels was probably quite beneficial. Go via, okay. Wait, am I doing shunt moves just to reposition? I am. Huh. It's weird then that Percy's got dropped on that siding when I would then have to run either wrong road through the tunnel or to not do that, I guess. I'm gonna get chucked in the cab. Yes, no, Edward works. I need to still flip the polarity round on his motor, just because it's inconvenient, that he's the odd one out. Why? I'm going to redo that, and we're going to try and do it properly, but that was Okay. Trying to do that from cab view would be challenging. Come on. Come on. So, nice and slowly. I believe that's the turntable where James spins round, but I'm not sure. Because I thought that was by the sea, and that's clearly got a retaining wall, which kind of limits the wind factor. Well, it's only a retaining wall on one side. I don't think they quite understood how that works. Normally retaining walls are for cuttings that are steep, not just to have a wall. But, you know, it's fine. Yeah, it's weird that there's not a crossover there, considering it's not a terminus station. However, it is a terminus station, but in which direction? Which way am I facing? You think if you just chuck Percy in the yard? I wonder what Percy's previous job was to this, to leave him over there. Because I'd have just chucked Percy in the yard. And then you can just drive out this end, rather than having to shuffle backwards and forwards. But I'm being a boring person. Anyway, as I was saying, I've dug up all the drawings I need and the photographs to make the vans in this game, because they look, by the doors, like the Ministry of Supply vans that were built in, you know, the sort of 1930s. Might be the 1910s. Either way, they were used private industry, that kind of thing. 2 of them are on the Great Central Railway. I have photos of both of them, because I'm an exciting person like that. My plan is to eventually model both of them as they are. One of them is in the as-built condition. The other one, I think, is as well, but it's got a vacuum pipe added. I know there's pictures of one, and there's a few of them. There's quite a few vans just in general on the railway, but I know there's a few of their pallet vans are on not matched chassis. Essentially, not pallet vans. Yeah, they are pallet vans. Words. Shock vans. Because of the way shock vans are built. So that is a... Oh, it's a single slip. That doesn't make sense. What? I'm not sure I understand this track layout. Overway. So, let's slow down a bit. Switch into cab view of my own volition. Right, that is my view. Right, I've got a window bar in the way of the view. I genuinely can't... I can't see. Like, I can see the adjacent line. My signal is behind that bar. Now, I'm not suggesting, Dovetail Games, that it would be really nice if you could change that. But I can't see the doll. I can see the main arm. Is that green? The arm is dropped, okay. So as long as I go slowly through the tunnel, I get the signal. But... What? What? It was down! That was green! Chat, you saw that, right? I could maybe go back and rewatch it, but... That... What? Okay. That's a thing that existed. Yeah, that camera is just... Right, I'll go in the zoomed mode. Right, I can see the signal down there. Then slow down to it as I approach, because I need to be able to stop. I can now not see the signals on this road. I can barely see over the coal in the bunker. This is why, if I was an actual, you know, driver, I would just poke my head out the window a bit. Because I can see the theatre box. I can see that red aspect. Right. I can see the tail end of the arm is in the horizontal. Oh, I'm too short. I can't see out the back windows. Right, I can lean out the side of the cab and go, I need to pull forward a few more yards. Yeah, so that looks dropped, but it isn't. Okay, I can now... I can... It's inching forwards. Now, presumably... Right, I can see now. The theatre box will give me the road I'm going on when I get the signal. I can't see, though. Well, this is just rude. So I could pull forwards another engine length. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Get me? Is this one of those I need to contact the signalman situations? There we go. Right. Just gonna double check. Yeah, I've got the signal now. Yeah. In cab driving, which you're forced to do in the tunnels, suffering. Because you can't see it. Like, maybe with, like, James or Gordon it might not be so bad, or Emily. Probably not Emily, actually. But yeah, that was suffering. Wait, so Percy was waiting at Tidmouth. What's happening? I am trying to get Percy to pick up these coaches. And I'm bad at it. Bonk. This is apparently the special coaches. They don't look very special to me, they just look like regular coaches, but you know. If you have not seen Mark, I have my new, I have a video of Edward go... Hang on a minute! Are these going to the carriage sheds? With people still in them? Okay. Well, I guess that changes my empty stock move a bit, because that was a rough shunt. But yes, I'm doing a stock move just to get myself warmed up a bit, because I was going through Percy's list trying to find where he picks up the van, but I think that's an evening job. So yes, now Percy, although a small engine, is not fast, but that's not an issue, because Percy doesn't need to be fast. Percy just needs to be able to move these 7 coaches. Yes, I am going to eventually finish what I was saying. But no, I've got the drawings now, I've got a suitable face, so I'm going to make some vans. Now, one of our new members is quite a artistic person, and I've asked if they would be interested in having a go at using Blender for drawing some faces. I cannot see. I can't see. I can't look out the cab. I'm going to bring myself to a stand because... Right. Do you... Okay, I've got a signal. That's fine. I can't see it over there. And yes, I'm going to see if they're interested in having a go at drawing some faces. Because the sketches they showed me today were very nice. However, I can't draw faces well. I don't draw my own ones. I've got people on a person on Twitter I have had in the previously, but they are either not seeing my messages or they're not interested in me doing stuff for them. I'm not sure. It might just be they're not seeing my messages, but I've messaged them a couple times and it's like, oh, okay. So, if anyone has any recommendations for face drawing people, then do let me know. I think actually you'd said that you got Dexter's face that you did in your one from somebody. So if they do other faces, I'm interested in some wagon faces. As I'd like to not just use the same face for all of them. So these have got really good breaks. There we go. Stop at Tidmouth Sheds. Woohoo! Wow! I didn't check for the signal, that was bad. I'm going too fast. Stop at Tidmouth Shed's shunt. Isn't the Tidmouth Shed just down there? Like, I can see it. Oh, okay, Facebook, nice, I can do that. It's mainly just so I've got another option so that... Oh no, why? No, it's bad. Percy does not have brakes on himself. When he's got coaches, no issues. When he's got, like, the mail vans, no issues. When he's got trucks, issues. Right, that's the signal. Don't go too fast. Don't do more mistakes. Yeah. My plan is I want to try and make 2 or 4 of these vans in the Sodal style. And then I'm going to make a few just, you know, for myself in regular, normal, boring. Because it'd be nice to have some more traffic for the club's layout. As we did acquire some more today. I need to check what that message is in a minute. Brain. Right, that's the signal. Okay, that wasn't stressful. Oh, that was it. Cool. All right. Brain. But I'm tempted to do some truck ones as well because I need to redesign my kit slightly if I'm going to use the faces because of how the faces attach. Because I print them normally as a separate component and then stick them on. So, Percy collects Gordon's coaches and moves them away. Percy collects the named express coaches. Percy returns from the shed for the afternoon. Percy starts his afternoon by departing from Timber Sheds and coupling to Gordon's coaches. Gordon's coaches, Gordon's coaches. Boring, boring. Percy returns to Tidmouth. Percy collects Gordon's coaches. Percy returns the coaches. Percy goes from Tidmouth to Farquhar. Collects his coaches. Coaches, 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 coaches. Vans. There we go. I've done a bit more work on the brake van. I did, after the stream I did yesterday, I just worked on Littleton all evening. And then I remembered there was an hour change and then had regret. Because I basically went to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning by mistake. Oops. But, you know, everything got done. Oh yeah, while you are presumably still lurking, Mark, so we did a quick count-up of the buildings that are suffering from environmental damage and the ones that aren't at the club. 21 buildings, and that's not individual houses, that's like the blocks of, have got like frost damage. 7 of them are alright. So 3/4 of the buildings need minor to major repair work. And chatting with other people who were there today, it might be that we do a fairly substantial remodel of Millhouse Lane. And the question is, do we extend that to the layout or just the buildings? So if you've got any input on that, do let me know, because you know, that'll be a project to start the planning stage, because obviously I don't want to have the layout just be out of use for ages. I'd rather it was something that we can go, right, we've got these buildings here, we can swap them out, or we've got, you know, this individual house or whatever, we can build a new one that fits the footprint and then go from there. Yeah, because I've been looking at all the stations as I'm going down here and going, I could work with this. So I'm thinking it might be nice to add an extra siding at the far end near the door, because all those buildings have got kind of manky. Because that's where the roof was leaking, as we found out. And it might have been leaking for 10 years, which explains some of the issues we've had with the building. It's actually been a lot better inside since we fixed the roof. So, yeah. But I'm looking at this and going, ooh, a little, you know, Farcore signal box type thing, or a suitable equivalent. You know, keep the sidings as they are, but we might need to change some of the industries because, well, the brewery buildings are sadly collapsing. The timber yard is alright, but that one's got some issues. The goods shed is fine. So it's that whole thing of looking at what we've got available in terms of rolling stock, and then going, what can we use? Like how we had the plan ages ago, instead of having the cow field, to have a little oil depot, because we had all the oil tanks at the time. As we don't have those oil tanks anymore, well, that's not really a relevant thing. But, yeah, trying to think of what we could do, because also the coal staves are fine. So it's mainly just the brewery and the factory. We need to do something with that space, and I'm not really sure what we should do. Other than something basically the equivalent of what there is. Because I think having a nice little, one of those little overhead gantry cranes might be a nice thing to have. But also maybe having a, I don't know, like a little permanent way depot or a little thing like that. Oh, okay, that's just not doing automatic coupling then today. That's fine. We can walk down here. And now I'm going to go to Hackenbeck. We have the little yard cranes and stuff, because, you know, it's not that the buildings are, like, destroyed. Just, you know, for anyone who is more aware of the club or whatever. It's just that they're showing damage that even if we fix them, there's no guarantee that they'll stay fixed. What do you mean where Percy is now would be alright? Yeah, I was thinking having a little goods area, because we've got a variety of little open wagons. We've got a few little engineers wagons, or, you know, engineering product wagons. We've got quite a few vans, again. Our van population has increased. Got a lot of brake vans. So the actual sort of track layout of the place wouldn't really change, but... or wouldn't need to. But it's the what do we do, because I think having a... something suitable for the back scene. The only thing that I'd quite like to do would be to have like a little warehouse that you can drive into, and then have a space in the back scene where you can unload or load vehicles, so you have, you know, stuff goes in loaded, comes out empty. But no, it's a case of I want to get a good amount of ideas, because nothing's going to happen, probably, until like June, July at this point. Because we got all that stuff with the Flying Scotsman visiting, and I don't want to have a layout that's worse. So unless we can do like one-for-one building swaps, I don't want to do anything yet, sort of thing. But I'm coming down here and going, you know, this is a nice simple thing. We've got a little timber siding, coal, you know, coal staves, crates. It's not anything particularly cohesive, but it's a nice little thing. Signal is down. I need to stop soon. But no, I thought it might be potentially interesting, at least for the traffic that I run, to have a little, like, 2-track head shunt fill yard type thing where at the door end, so that we've got the option for basically having a through train or having like a little coal mine, quarry, extra little factory, whatever kind of thing you want at that end, and then having basically the option to have a through train that doesn't just stop at the station and go back. And obviously you'd have to do an amount of manual shunting. We'd probably have to adjust how you get to that bit of the back, but if we have that area sort of covered over and, or, you know, stick some of our more... words. Like on the end of Millhouse when you come in, you've got all the posters and stuff by the door. Having something like that might be... beneficial. I'm not being good at this tonight. Right, stop. Forwards. Hope there's nothing fragile in these vans. Because there isn't any more. But yeah. It's mainly just the getting some ideas down, having something so we can go, here's some ideas, what do we want to do about it? Rather than just going, right, it's all knackered, we need to do this now. I think the main problem is a load of the back scene houses are falling to pieces. Well, that's the thing. If we do a one-to-one swap, so it fits the space, I'm not too bothered. It's just the... I don't want to replace the entire far end by the door, because it's just an infill area, whereas if we can put a bit more train-related stuff on it, it might be nice. I'm just not sure what we should put there. But having like the factory and brewery buildings would be... it would be nice to have something to replace them, or, you know, something that looks a bit tidier. Because I know you can get laser cut kits of stuff like that. I've seen some quite impressive ones. And we could just go for a one-to-one and just keep the brewery building, you know, and try and maintain the theme. It's just the... oh, it's over here. What do we want to do? Have some ideas, you know. Because I don't want to just make a decision and go, we're doing this, because that's not, you know, fun for anyone else, necessarily. But I'm happy to do the work on it, because I enjoy doing it. I just want to have some input as to what it is. Because I'd rather not 3D print anything big, purely because the building gets quite hot in the summer. And I wouldn't want, you know, stuff to go squiffy if it gets particularly warm. Whereas laser cut is fine, and I can do, you know, stuff like chimneys, doors, all, you know, all the little bits and pieces. Window frames, they're a popular one. I've done lots of those for people. Because as I say, personally, you know, I'd be tempted to go something like a ballast siding, mineral, you know, mineral siding, but that's not very relevant. I have got no brakes despite having a breakdown. I'm just going right on by. If I don't stop before that signal... Come on, Percy! Do you... like... It's bad. Yeah. Lone checkpoint. That was messy. This is why when people go, oh, you know, why do you play... Oh. Okay, I'm just going to do this for one. So, as I was saying, diesel. I don't want to drive from the harbour to the quarry, because it's just me driving for 20 minutes without doing anything. Same with that one. I can shun the troublesome trucks. Let's do that. Ah, I think I am doing the collecting all the trucks together. Oh yeah, I ran my my diesel today, although his face is a bit smaller because I've got it on the radiator grille rather than replacing the radiator grille. He's also in rail freight grey rather than being in actually a closer condition of being unicorn. The Guinness Loco. However, he runs nicely, which is reassuring given that I fixed him from a Loco that was broken. Now, what I would do here, because I'm an exciting person, is I would drive down what I guess would be siding 7. And then just start from the top and just collect them all together. We'll see how it does it here, because if it's a lot of toing and froing rather than just toing, then I'm going to be a bit confused. But we've got 8 quarries sitting on the 8 quarry wagons sitting on the wharf. Bonk. Are we going to siding them? What? Oh no, don't do this to me. Yeah, I feel like how Diesel's looking. It's like, ugh, eye roll. Oh, am I... Oh, that's really good. If they're running empty to the quarry, I don't see why I've got to do this amount of complicated shunting. I should better just scoop them all up and just be like, yep, got them, nice, let's go. Well, the lights still work on my diesel. I need to check the switches on the control board to see if I can get the red lights to work, but I've got the white lights. See, viewing from this angle is just a train. It's when you get around to about here and you start seeing the nose. Yeah, this is one of those, I've got 8 identical wagons, this might be a very boring shunt move. Although there's a double slip there. So maybe it'll have me drag them all together. Rather than having me, you know, scoop them all up one by one by one. Well, 2 by 2 by 2. Bonk. Siding numbers. Oh, I'm really doing that, aren't I? go via... So I'm building the back of the train first, despite the fact that the wagons are all the same, they should be empty, because they've been to the quarry, and then to the harbour. Oh, this just feels like busy work. Maybe there's a reason I hadn't done this one before. Howdy. But yeah. I am thinking I might... Well, I'm probably going to make some of these wagons, but I need to check if the door's going to work with the faces I've got. Obviously having the hinged end door is not a problem necessarily, but if I've got anything that's embossed on it, it'll need to move because the face will be there. And the face has to be printed separately because the door prints flat, but the face doesn't, because if you print the face flat it looks horrific. If you've ever seen one of those like low poly topographical maps, as you print them vertically, they just look sort of wavy. I do like the wagon dynamics for how they, you know, shuffle about in transit. This is very inefficient use of this diesel. No, so in theory we've got all of April to do any of the prep work. Because I mean, if it wasn't the fact that it's completely the wrong side of the layout for it, it'd be kind of neat to have like a little harbour. You know? Because we've got the canal stuff. Having an actual little canal wharf might be quite nice. I don't know, this is me having ideas because I'm playing a video game where I'm looking at all the fun stuff. So having like a little piece of like harbour track and then, you know, have a boat, like have a little canal wharf type thing so you can do like the transshipment stuff. And if we have it such that you have to propel the train in, it gives you a bit more of a sort of play factor, because you'll need to bring a train to the station, run round or take the engine off the front at least, propel the wagons into the wharf, and go from there. Because it's a thing we could use the van siding for, although we will admittedly lose the van siding if we do that. And then where will I park my brake vans? No, I might sketch up some ideas and see what people wanna go with, or just suggest ideas for that bit of the layout. Because, you know, one of the issues we've had, again for the context of anyone listening who doesn't know what I'm talking about, the Mill House building on Millhouse Lane was underneath the roof leak, and it's not fared badly, but it's not fared well. So it's one of those, and if we took it out, it's a big chunk of the layout, like real estate wise. But we'll see. Oh, who we got? Who we got? Gordon! Yep, and that's all we'll see of Gordon for a while. That is presumably 205 off of Knapford? Maybe not even that. Giving it 208. It seems an odd time to start an express. I guess it might be when it gets there. Thank God, because I can't get through rolling stock couplings when it's parked in that small building. I mean, the van shed, my normal thing is I don't, you know, you don't drive a solitary vehicle into the van shed. Because you won't get it out again unless you fish it out by hand. This is a thing that all the new people who've started recently have learned, is they will push a van in there and go, oh, how do I get that back? So... thing is, the goods shed is actually one of the better conditioned buildings, so I kind of don't want to lose that. So I was thinking the van siding or the head shunt off the station. But if we use the head shunt off the station, then it's, well, what do we do with the head shunt? There's options. Again, it's I wanna get some ideas, get some sort of vibe type things. You know, you're having these like little warehouse like garage things. Those would be really easy. What if we moved it? The goods shed. Potentially. I'm not sure where we could move it is the issue, because it's quite big and it's got the cattle dock built into it. So unless we just move the whole thing down a bit, or round the corner a bit, because ideally I don't want to have too much, I don't want to have to do uncoupling at the far end, because you won't reach anything unless you're Mr. Tickle. A turntable might be nice. The issue is, how big of a turntable? Do you go with a nice little Isle of Wight, like 30-foot turntable? Do you go for the full sort of, you know, primary terminus station 70-foot turntable? You know, we could even do the thing, if you've ever seen, I think it's Princess Street Dock, I think that's the layout, where they've got the little wagon turntables. Those are cute. You know, probably wouldn't want to have those work, because that seems like a fun thing waiting to happen, but modelling them would be quite easy. Or just something to go in the space, even if it's just buildings. But it's kind of a big area to have not much in, or to try and replace the buildings that are already there. But that's the bit that anyone coming in from that end of the building sees first, so I kind of want it to be something kind of nice looking. And again, like, I'm looking at this like big dock area and just going, you know, something like this would be kind of nice, but I don't know how practical that would be. Because we can't really eat into the space otherwise because of the stuff we've got stored underneath. And the frame of the thing, and the staging behind the layout, because I am not as much of a giraffe as some people seem to think. Runs for Knapford Harbour north to south. Shunts the vans. Alright, let's do that. So, as I say, you know, ideas are useful. We will have to see what the club decides it wants to do, but having some ideas to pitch is helpful. I mean, we could even just move all the farm stuff down there and have an actual, you know, put all the barn, the stables, all that stuff down there, because then that also means that it gets a good chunk of the front of the layout clear, because we had a few visitors in today who were old enough that they didn't want to stand on the little plastic stools, but they weren't tall enough to see over the buildings. So they couldn't really see anything other than seeing around the buildings, which when you're watching, you know, Diesel shunt 3 or 4 wagons around means you don't really see much. Because it's not got this, you know, nice big open vistas, it's more sort of looking through letterboxes. Yeah. So, up to the harbour junction, and then set back. But, yeah. I think with the brewery and the engineer and the timber and plant company, we should probably just try and replace them as they are, or near enough. But maybe built in brick rather than stone. It's a very big bridge. Now this could be double easily. I think there is one sketch, not sketch, word, one of the drawings that shows what appears to be an '08 shunter this end first with the face on it. I forget whose drawing it is. It's from Enterprising Engines. When Oliver is making his escape. I think it's a class 28 and it might be a class 08 because it's got the wasp hazard stripes on the back, and that's a thing only shunters have. So that would imply, if it's a shunter, that it would almost certainly be an 08 or an 09 or an 010, with the face at the other end, which would then fit the you know, diesels having a face at each end thing, without, you know. Because for ones like Daisy and Boko, that kind of works because they've got a cab at each end, it kind of follows, but for... I imagine Mavis having a face on, like, the blunt end. Just weird. I'm kind of tempted to model that sometimes, that might be fun, and just, you know, just paint the eyes on sort of thing, but that might be a bit much. Yeah. Personally, though, I think it would be nice to be able to dress the layout up a bit as, you know, something on the island of Sodor. For when we've got event days, because, you know, I've got all my Thomas stuff, it would not be difficult to fabricate copies of them for the clubs. The club's got its own, own versions of them. You know, basically as and when stuff comes up cheap in sales. Because that's how I've got all of my ones. You know, having the Farquhar Quarry branch ones, because it's only, what, 4 or 5 vehicles. You know, Thomas, Percy, Toby, Mavis, possibly Diesel, and Daisy. Ah, yes. And then I sit here until Percy brings the vans back later. Because it's 3 in the afternoon. Come to a nice, gentle stop. His horn was cut off. If I go with the free roam mode, next service starts at 9:30. I feel like I'm not going to wait for that. I feel like I'm going to go to do something else. Rather than wait 6 hours in the game. Because I feel like 6 hours in the game might be 6 hours in real life, but I'm not sure. Select a timetable to explore Sodor like a normal service. Right, Mark, if you're still watching, should I do anything in particular? I know you like Gordon. So I can drive up to Farquhar, drive up to the quarry. Diesel heads to bed for the night. So yeah, I've sort of run out of the diesel ones to do. What does James have that I've not done yet that isn't just a passenger service? Do James? What time is it? It is 50 minutes in. I could do... Well, do I do a Knapford to Vickerstown or Vickerstown to Knapford? Tar wagons. Oh, right, okay. Where's that? It's in here somewhere. Most of his day is just passenger services, which gets a bit boring to drive. Passengers, 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 passengers. Passengers, 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 passengers. Mail vans to Vickerstown. James leaves the tar wagons, moves the turntable. What? Takes the mail service, okay. Drops from Vickerstown. Leaves the tar wagons. Moves the turntable. Collects the tar wagons. Vickerstown to Knapford. Do I do the morning trip or the afternoon trip? So I've got the Vickerstown to Knapford tar. Or I've got the Knapford to Vickerstown tar. So, because the first one is Tidmouth Sheds to Vickerstown, and the second one is we'll go Vickerstown to Knapford then. Collects tar wagons. So allegedly it's a shorter run, presumably it's less hills. Right, I need to set back and not blind myself. Come on. Have had a few people ask me about this game today, so it's been quite popular. I don't think I'm going to make those type of mail vans purely because I don't want to sin against the Southern Railway. Not quite sure what happened there, but the roofs are too wide. Do I want to put the brake van at the right end of the train? I kind of do. I think I did that last time, actually. See, it's got the little lamp on at the back. That's nice. James hasn't got his tender lamp on, which is correct. Set that point back. Just need to put this one over the points. Not going to run it all the way down to the end, I'm far too lazy. I wonder if it gives you a penalty if you move the wrong vehicles, like if I took the mail vans with me as well. But no, good question. Mark, as you weren't here earlier, I think, for it. Do you know of any, like, soundboard apps where I could get, like, a set of whistles and, like, diesel horns and stuff, so I could have, a variety of whistle sounds that isn't just me, you know, trying to find a suitable thing? Has that picked them up? The brakes are off. I think so. So the reckoning of these 8 tanks are probably about 30 tons apiece, which is about 240 tons, which doesn't sound terrible, and you go, it's only 8 vehicles. But it's also 8 vehicles, and a modern, you know, big hopper, yes, it'll be as long as 3 of those tanks, but it weighs 100 tons. Now we go back again. And scoop up the brake then. Let's just gently back, gently back. Bonk. Oh, too soon. Okay. I was wondering if I can get like a soundboard so I can just have like a button where I can just go, I want to get diesel sound, get, you know, go from there kind of thing. Because in theory, if you're doing shunting about in the yard, every time the engine starts to move again, you want to do a horn or a whistle, but not like a lot. You just want to be like a peep rather than a meh. Now, if I remember correctly, last time I did this, I did not have the signal, because until I get to the signal, the yard is not prepared. Oh, thank you. I will have a look at that. Oh, James, no. I don't know if there's a handbrake. If there is, I don't know about it. But just, you know, just stop James at the top of the hill and then have him just start being pulled backwards. Because that happened once when I got out to... I actually got out to start pinning down the brakes on a wagon before it, you know, gave me issues on a hill. And then my train rolled away faster than I could catch up. That was embarrassing. Right, I'm gonna go 18 miles now. My driver still can't see out. Clear the points. Yeah, I should have the speed restriction lifted. Apparently it's not until I get to the other end of the station. Yeah, there's a nice terrace down there. Yeah, a nice relaxing evening. I have no idea what graphics settings I have this on, by the way. It's just on whatever it defaulted to, but it looks pretty nice. No, got to get work done this week. Also going to see my sister, and try and get to Rothley, and do too many other things probably, so busy. Town number 1. Yep, 20-mile-an-hour limit for the station. Clear? Yep, land's clear. Can now properly let James go. There we go. And now a nice, relaxing 17-mile drive of the somewhat a Lancashire and Yorkshire engine with its Fowler tender. And some very undulating milk tanks. I think I've got greens the whole way. It will be interesting when a few more things get added into the game and you get a deeper timetable and you start getting things like, you know, your train has to wait so Gordon can go past and stuff. Or being switched off into one of the yards, you know, to let an express go by and, you know, fun stuff like that. Again, it's a bit more of the sort of play factor. Green up ahead. That will do nicely. We're coming up on Henry's Tunnel, going on the... Oh, we're going on the Henry line this time. Flomp. It's a completely useless view, it's great. Also, yes, it does bother me that the back head is a nice round one. Like for a round top boiler, but the outside is clearly a bell pair. But, you know, not a deal breaker, it's just weird. Because if it was this size, you have the cab spectacle plate be quite big, and then you could see. I've got the signal. Can I see? Yeah, please. Yay, there we go. That's the line off to Ballyhoo. You know the fun thing of when you turn on a light in a video game, it uses real electricity? It's weird because it says take the tar. It doesn't mention the milk. The milk's just kind of along for the ride, I guess. But there is a dairy in the game, so in theory you could drive to the dairy and drop the tanks off there. I think the dairy is somewhere around here, that kind of area. Or is it over here? It's somewhere. Oh look, there's Percy's train. For the one of the last ones of the night, I assume. That Quarryman shuttle is. I wouldn't want to be finishing work just before midnight. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this might be Gordon's Hill. I'm not sure, though. Mildly ominous. Might be a scout hut, I don't know. Actually, no, this wouldn't be Gordon's Hill, would it? It's too early for that. And I'm accelerating, not decelerating. suppose. I'm still not sure how you get the view in front of the engine. Obviously that's not helpful. Oh. Okay. Right, that's useful. Silica. No. External front camera. Front boom camera. Yeah. Well, that's not helpful either. Is it one of the internal cameras then? Oh, there we go. Head out left. Head out left. You know all those times I've been complaining that I can't see? Well, I'm glad I found the button for those controls, because I don't believe that that was in the tutorial. But yeah, being able to see out the side of the cab is quite pleasant. Also, I can do this one. James's point of view. Let's go! We are now James. This is actually quite fun. I wish I'd found this sooner. I should have tried it. 'Cause it's like, so 1, 2, and 3 do stuff. 9 does stuff. 8 does stuff. 5, 6, 7 didn't. And then it's like, oh, it's 0. That makes sense. What other views we got? So we've got second man's view. Oh, so we've got second man's seat. Head out right, head out left. Driver's seat, James. Okay. So we can have that view. Kind of useless. We can have drivers, head out left, no, head out right, there we go. This is the driver's view. That's actually kind of useful because you can just go, oh, signals, you know. I feel very silly now. Especially with that earlier mission where I failed it multiple times because I couldn't see, and I'm just saying, oh right, there's literally there's a button I can press. Oops. I don't exist though, that's kind of awkward. We're not going to think too much about that. Now, on a fully fitted train, or even a just regular not fitted train, on the brake van, which I can see back there, there'd be a couple of lamps, so if you can see the lamps, that means you've still got the brake van. Ooh, is that you commenting on my Edward video? No, cleaning the wheels did so much of a change, because I'd run him on the rolling road, and obviously rolling road, you've got pretty good contacts and everything. Since I painted him, didn't help, but no, cleaned up the wheels, and he ran lovely. He just runs backwards, so I need to solder the wires differently on the motor to switch those round. However, you know, he works. Run him outside. He runs nice and slow as well. If you want, when he needs. You can do like slow speed control, not that he's just not fast. So I can gently buff up to coaches and stuff without, you know, banging them around or just the engine stalling out. But yeah, no, I think one of my happier locomotive purchases this year, and definitely the cheapest. Yeah, no. Occasionally getting a slightly knackered old banger is a good decision. Yeah, no, for benefit of people who haven't seen it or haven't watched the video, I bought a rather knackered but functional second-hand brass and tin built LNER D54, which I believe is then Manchester, no, Manchester, Midland and Great Northern Joint Railway passenger engine, and with a few extra bits and pieces like a new pony truck, new front drag box, some repairs to the tender. It's all working nicely. So I just need to, you know, run in some more. And that Edward's been a long-term goal project, and basically having one drop in my lap, I was like, oh, that's brilliant. So I've got a stand-in or a, you know, proper model done for the first 12 locos now, which is nice. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next, because I kind of don't want to make a Henry, because I'm looking at my Henry that isn't a Henry because it's just a Black 5, and looking at all the rodding and going, I'm going to have to get that in brass, because I don't think I can print that where it would work enough. Like, the tolerances of the material thicknesses just wouldn't be up to it. As I'm sure you can imagine, brass is a lot stronger than plastic for the same cross-sectional area. Yeah. No, I need to do a lot of things. I'm working my way through the Windcutter collection. There are 6 wagons currently at Swiftland. 2 of them, I think, possibly 3 of them, I've already modelled. So that's not too much work. I've got a few to build. I've got 2 to go. Oh no, I've got 1 to do draw new, because it's currently being worked on, and I want to find out how much work it's getting done before it's, you know, I make the model of it, because I've already got 2 that I need to repaint, because number 12 and number 20 have had their number panels done a bit differently, where normally there'd be, I've not got an example to hand, normally there'd be just a black box, but it's got a split one, so it's got the little ton number, or the load number, and then the wagon number separately, rather than as one big box. Is this Gordon's Hill? Have I done this again, where I'm just kind of casualing my way up a very steep grade? I don't think so. Because Gordon's Hill's got a gantry on the top. I think it's just a regular hill, and I'm in a weird camera view. I do need to process all the drawings and pictures I took today, actually, and, wait. Oh, excuse me. Oh, yeah, I could tell the hour changed and I didn't get enough sleep. 10 miles to go. I've got some new drawings and measurements and photographs of GCR 799, the coach, as it is leaving the railway soon. And, you know, it's going to be difficult to measure it when it's not there. So that's something I did today. I measured all the detail for where the vac equipment goes. I've got other bits and pieces measured, like the queen posts, the height of all the little bits and pieces, all the stuff that isn't on the drawings. The only thing I couldn't do is the battery boxes, and that's because they're not there. Although I can probably work it out based on where the various bits of ironwork on the frames are. Because it appears that the battery boxes hung off of the soul bars, not off of the underneath, basically. I'm not entirely sure, but I couldn't see any bits missing, sort of thing. Again, very exciting me that is, you know, looking at things and going, ooh. Yeah. No, another one of the things I really should do is I should finish my model of Farquhar Shed. Because I need to do the 2 stone-clad ones. Because currently I've got Donald, Douglas and Duck parked up in it, which isn't particularly suitable. However, I needed somewhere to put them, and they look nice. And now I've got what I think is Douglas kind of just awkwardly looking at me every time I look over there. He's looking up and left, so he just kind of looks like there's something above my door. I'm going a bit too fast. Tanks appear to be riding alright, so I'm just going to not accelerate extra. I should get my coaches finished, because eventually we'll get some nicer days that aren't too windy. Because it was doing both today of rain and wind. I need to get my coaches done. Because I've got Irene. I'm tempted to repaint, but I'm not sure what colour to repaint it to, because I've got it... I painted it purple for the... Was it the Queen's 50th or 60th? Jubilee. 60 years? I don't remember. Either way, that one what were a few years ago when you had Tor Valley painted up in purple and all that. I did a few things for that one, so I had a Wisbeach and Wisbeck? That one. The W&E tramway bogie coach, and I had a Great Central express coach that I had painted up for the occasion. And they'd gone quite nicely. However, only Irene's really run more since, because my GC coach, I don't have anything to run it with. Because it's kind of an older duck. I should run it with my Barnum coaches, but I need to get them more operational. I need to do a new roof for the express coach. I need to do the rest of the train for the express coach. But I've already got a load of other stuff I should be doing, so I might just drop that all first in with my LNER stock. It's already in the right livery. And just sort of not worry about it too much. Yeah. Oh, we're going through one of the avoiding lights. I'm surprised there's surprised there's not a speed restriction through here. Going through platform 3. This is a bit like Arlia. Is it Arlie or is it Bewley? Oh, it's a very long time since I've been to the Severn Valley. They've got a island and a one-side platform. So you get the two lines through the middle and then one extra. I think it's Bewley. Because I think it's Bewley that's got the junction. Or used to have the junction, which was why you'd have the extra platform. Now this looks like Gordon's Hill. Which I believe is an equivalent gradient to the Licky Incline in, I want to say, Worcestershire. Birmingham way. So although it's steep, it's not, you know, undoably steep. Because otherwise you get, you know, little engines like Percy, we just get to the bottom and go, no, I can't do this. And the question will be, how fast can I be going at the other side? Also, I like that I've got a distance signal for a gantry I can see. It's not helpful. Like, if that signal dropped to danger in front of me, and I'm doing 50 miles an hour, can I brake before the top of the hill? No. And I'm not going to go to a full stop because I wouldn't maybe get these going again. And down we go. Whee! And again, you got the distances, like a train length from the gantry. That seems rude. Although you'd see the distance a long time before that. Right, so we're not going to accelerate any extra, and we'll see how fast we're going at the bottom. Now, traditionally, this is where James falls over, if I'm not mistaken. Brain. So, again, to take advantage of the potential people in chat, of being, you know, talking to them, I have got drawings for a crane that would, oh, what are the cranes? What do they call the cranes in the show? Because they never used to have names. But I think after Rocky acquired a name, it kind of made sense to have... Is it Judy and Jerome? I don't remember. Either way, the two cranes that come in, that Thomas uses to come and scrape James back together. I've got a drawing for a similar crane, and I'm kind of tempted. The problem is, I've got so much stuff I should be doing. I really can't skive off and do more fun projects for myself. Not right now, anyway. Again, it's Judy and Jerome. Okay. Because the crane at Rowfleet, the one that's used for the carriage works, is a similar type in that it's a crane with a single flat truck, rather than any relieving bogies. But then again, the crane at, I want to say Gromont, is similar in that it's a, you know, single wagon and and then the match wagon. So it's two sub vehicles, whereas my big Cowan's crane is 4. Need to finish that as well. Oh, there's always so much to do. Gonna go to a show and they're gonna be, oh, you know, what have you finished that you were working on since the last show? And I'll be like, I've done all this new stuff. They'll be like, okay, what have you finished? No. Alright. Have a nice evening. I've just seen the time myself, so I think once I finish this trip, I'm going to finish myself. Yeah, 2 miles to go. If I can do an average 60, that'll take me 2 minutes. Nice. Going through Crosby. There's a lot going on at Crosby. There's the barber shop for Duck when he eventually gets added. I think Duck will be added. Right, Knapford Yard number 3 siding. I need to stop doing this so late at night. It was like gone 9 o'clock when I started, which didn't help. Not by much, but you know. Is that the dairy? That looks like the dairy. So it'd be kind of nice if there was an option to, you know, have a siding here to drop these milk tanks off. But there isn't. Not yet, anyway. It does amuse me that James's clock tops out at 125. I wonder how fast someone's got on a James to go in this game. I could probably find out. Oh, I can't. Can I lean out the cab in this view? Am I doing it? I don't know. No, I'm not. Alright, well. Ooh, 200 yards. I need to be doing 50 miles an hour. Okay, 50 miles an hour. I can do that. 30 miles an hour. Well, that felt a bit quick through there. There you go, there's the vans at the harbour. Limited shunt board. Cross the road. 200 yards. Oh, I've not got the signal. Oh, that was close. Whoops. And that's what you don't do. I'm going to the overhead ship camera just to do the last bit. Well, that went reasonably well. There were no, you know, fatalities. Just bring James to a nice, gentle stand with his milk and tar train. Outside Knapford. And then I'm going to go to bed, which seems suitable. And I guess before anyone asks, I do already have models of those tanks. I might build some more of them. And paint them up as tar tanks, because I can. Well, I hope you've all had a nice time watching. If not, well, you know the drill. Do something else sooner. And I hope you all have a nice day. I don't know if I'm going to do any more this week. I've got work I need to do tomorrow. I'm out Tuesday, Wednesday. I've got stuff Friday. I might have plans Thursday. We'll find out. I will return at some point because I enjoy playing this and talking to the wall mostly. Mostly the wall. Sometimes people are here to listen. It's not just stop streaming, there's an extra button I have to press now. They've changed